Hello and welcome to The Adult Life, where we give you the tools to be a happy and healthy adult. My name is Simi and I'm the adult in charge. This is the fourth video in the How to Save Money in London series. We've talked about saving money on your food, eating out and your bills. And now we're talking about saving money on eating healthy. In the How to Save Money on Food in London video, we talked about tips like learning to cook, batch cooking and meal planning. You can find that video either down below in the description bar or I think I'll link it up here. Those are tips that can also be applied in this situation, but what we're really going to be talking about here is eating healthy and saving money while doing it. So the first tip is having a budget. Now, having a budget is one of the best ways to save money. The reason being, knowing that you have a certain amount of money to spend means that you have to find more creative ways. And once the money is gone, it's gone. So taking 30 minutes a month to look at your budget and determine how much you really want to be spending on food could really make a difference. Next, you need to address your addictions. I don't know who needs to hear this, but your daily coffee addiction is not only killing your body, it's killing your wallet. Now, I've read recently that 200 milligrams of coffee is a recommended daily dose for most people. That's 2 cups of coffee a day. So if you're drinking more than 2 cups of coffee, you could be at risk of anxiety, tremors, and all sorts of other negative things. So I say stick to a maximum of 2 cups of coffee a day. If you're like my mentor, Graham Stephen, make sure that those cups don't cost more than 20 cents or 20 pence each. Other addictions like smoking, going for drinks every weekend or every night in some cases, buying excessive takeaways are just not good for you. And apart from killing your body, they're killing your wallet. Do you know that if you spend £6 a day on your addictions, you would have spent £2,000 by the end of the year? That's ridiculous. So you really want to make sure that you're addressing your addictions and reducing the amount of times you indulge in them, and you'll see a really big cash saving. The next thing that I would say that's really important is getting your food lifestyle sorted. Notice I didn't say diet. I don't believe in diets, I believe in lifestyles. So if you think that the Atkins diet or the keto diet or any other diet is going to give you long-term health gains, think again. You need to make sure that whatever food habits you're taking on board are going to be for life. And that's the only way that you're going to keep and see long-term gains. So in a previous video, I said that I follow intermittent fasting. And basically what that means is that you eat at certain periods and you don't eat for other periods. I do the 16-8 diet, which means that for 16 hours of the day, I don't eat, and for 8 hours or less in most cases, I do. I usually start eating about 1 p.m. and then have my last meal of the day at 8 p.m. There are many benefits associated with intermittent fasting, and the way I do it, the 16-8, is actually just one of many ways to do it. Some people do the 5-2, which means you eat normally for 5 days a week, but for 2 of the days you either don't eat at all or you restrict your calories to maybe like 600 calories. And that really helps people because they say it's less restrictive than a normal diet because you can really eat what you want. Obviously, they're not binging on the eating days, but they're eating normally, and then on the non-eating days or on the fasting days, like they like to call them, you eat a lot less. And what that does is that over the course of the week, the average of the calories is quite small, and that's how they tend to lose weight. Apart from losing weight, there are lots of benefits. Some have seen improvement in sleep, feeling sluggish, all sorts of things. So I think it's something that you should definitely read up on, but like I said, I'm not a dietitian or anything. This is just advice. There are many other diets that actually could become lifestyles, like the Mediterranean diet. Basically, any diet that tells you to completely cut out a group of food is not going to be sustainable in the long term. So I'd advise you to try something that you know that you can manage for life, really. And like I said in the previous video, doing the 16-8 diet means that I only eat twice a day maximum. Sometimes I only eat once a day, depending on how active I've been or how hungry I've been. And I eat less junk, and it's just done wonders for my health, really. When it comes to buying organic produce can be some of the most expensive things on your grocery list. But there's actually a few ways to get around this. Enter the Clean 15 and the Dirty Dozen. So basically, the Clean 15 are 15 fruits and vegetables that farmers use the least pesticides on. And what this means is you can get away with not buying organic for these. The Dirty Dozen are fruit and veg with the most pesticide use. And these are the ones that you might want to buy organic for if you're concerned about that kind of thing. Now, I'm as lazy as the next person, and I'm guilty of buying pre-cut fruit and veg. But the way I offset this is that I make sure I only buy certain fruit and veg pre-cut. Usually this is limited to garlic, ginger, onions sometimes, and mixed peppers. And why this is because it's very convenient. Most of the things I cook have those ingredients in some combination, so it just makes sense to have them pre-made. When it comes to other vegetables that can be cut in other ways, like carrots, potatoes, I would definitely say buy them whole and cut them yourself. This is definitely one of the ways that people waste money. I don't see any reason why you should buy a bag of chopped carrots for double the price for the same bag of whole skin-on carrots. One of my favorite tips is eating in season. Now, there's certain fruit and veg that only really come out at one time of the year. This is the best time to buy a lot of that fruit or veg and put them in the freezer for use later on in the year. Buying food off season is one of the best ways to make sure you're going to pay a premium for it. And that's really what you don't want to do. A good way to offset the cost of buying off-season fruit and veg is by buying it frozen. A frozen veg is harvested at the peak of ripeness and frozen to keep all the nutrients inside. This way you get to eat the fruit and veg that you love so much, but it's at a cheaper cost. Bear in mind though that sometimes frozen fruit and veg isn't the same texture as it is fresh, so you might not be able to use it in things that require fresh veg like salads. So definitely in things like casseroles and cooked stews, you can make good use of the veg there. Really, you can't go wrong when it comes to your freezer. You can freeze your batch cooked food, your fruit and veg, and also meat. So when you buy meat on sale, you can put it in the freezer and use it at a later time of the year. And the best way to do this is to actually freeze the meat in portions that you'll be able to use later on, so you don't end up defrosting huge amounts of meat just because you want to use a tiny portion. When it comes to meat though, you can actually save money and be more healthy by eating less meat. And don't get me wrong, meat is good for you. It's got lots of protein and other good stuff. But a lot of people tend to overdo it on the meat. And I think it might be a good idea for you to try going meat-free for some recipes. Now, I'm not suggesting you go vegetarian or vegan because I don't believe in those diets. So what you can do is do one meat-free day a week, or if you already do that, you can reduce it even further by doing one meat-free meal a day. Since meat is usually the most expensive ingredient in a dish, what you'll do is you'll reduce your cost per portion and save money that way. So you can use less traditional and cheaper cuts of meat like gizzard, tripe, chicken neck, cow foot, kidney, liver. All these things maybe don't sound as tasty or they sound a bit weird to you, but they're actually really good for you and a lot cheaper than the traditional breast, thigh, loin. Obviously, we talked about meal planning in one of the previous videos, and a good way to save money is to buy glass Tupperware to save your food when you're batch cooking. A glass Tupperware in particular is important because plastics have been known to release carcinogens when they're warmed. Glass doesn't have any such concerns, and it usually lasts a lot longer than plastic. So in the long run, you're going to be saving money and also looking after your health. And my final way to save money on being healthy is to look at discount codes. And lots of health stores like Holland & Barrett have loyalty schemes which alert you to the discounts that they may have at any one time. So it's usually a good idea to look at these discounts and see if there's anything you need. Something I noticed recently is that there are actually a lot of health bloggers and vloggers, and when they're promoting certain products, they give you discount codes. So if you look for health bloggers and vloggers on YouTube and other websites, you'll be able to find discounts on products you already use and be able to save money that way. There you go, those are my top tips for saving money on eating healthy in London. I really hope you enjoyed them. If you have any better ones, please let me know in the comments. Please subscribe if you love the series because there's one more video to come. Until next time, see ya!